Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, my fellow travelers, welcome back. We are happy to have you. Today's title is Getting Out of the Bubble of Oblivion. Getting out of the bubble of Oblivion. Now, how I was cued to connect with you today is a channel song that I received. Although I receive channeled songs quite frequently, there is a method that I am experiencing right now with my spiritual guides. I know when they are bringing something to my attention, and I also know when they have a message for me to release. And I received it with that emphasis that I need to bring this to the attention of my fellow travelers. Now, the song that they brought to my attention is in my native tongue. I should say mother tongue, because I am an American citizen, but I am a descendant of Haitian ancestry. And so when this song was brought to my attention, I said, but God, it's not in English. I understand that this song carries a message, but it's not in English. But I was told that is the song. That is today's channeled song. Fortunately, it is in the form of a chant. You repeat the lyrics over and over, and it is a chant that's usually used before prayer. So that right there is telling me that we are called to be in a spirit of prayer. And although I have the translation of the song in English, because I interpreted it, I feel there is healing and frequency. And because it was brought to my attention that this is the channeled song. I understand it's in another language, but this is today's channeled song. I believe it was brought to me and delivered to me in that language, in that tone, in that frequency, because there is power in that song. So although most of you will not understand the couple of words that you're about to hear, you will be able to embrace the message even further when I translate it to you in English. Grâce, grâce, pardon, Seigneur. Grâce, grâce, pardonnez-nous. Grâce, grâce, pour faute nous, nous mandez-vous grâce, Seigneur. Now that song is repeated to the extent that you need to repeat it. In translation, it means grace, grace, forgive me, Lord. Grace, grace, forgive us all. Grace, grace, for all our faults. We're asking you grace, my Lord. That song was brought to your attention to make use of it. That song is being offered to you for you to add it to your spiritual toolbox. That song is relevant today because of today's title, Getting Out of the Bubble of Oblivion. We will be focusing on universal love, oneness, and organization. That song reminds us that there is no room for arrogance in our lives. Those of us that are in the spirit of judge, those of us that want God to sit down and want to sit on His throne and want to sentence those they deem fit to be sentenced to death by the throwing of stones. That song reminds us that we are all connected, that we are all experiencing oneness in the form of parallel lives, that we need to begin to practice seeing each other with the eyes of love and not the eyes of judgment. Our focus is universal love. Not just in word, but in action and presence. Come as you are. We are being called to be kind and generous with all people from all walks of life, from all nationalities, all races, all classes, all intellectual capacities. We are being called to even be kind and generous with those that are attached with misfortunate stigma. Those stigmas that we interpret are self-induced. Whether it be addiction, homelessness, sickness and disease, even bloodline. Even those cursed. We are called to be kind and generous with all people. Does that mean you place them under your wing and you collect whatever energy they have to offer you? That would not be the interpretation here. It means as you respect others, you attract respect. As you love others, you attract love. As you see each other through the eyes of love, and not the eyes of judgment, you attract God's grace. As I've mentioned before, we are all on a journey. The journey is called life. During this journey, we attend school through our experiences, and we learn classes at our own pace. All of us learn classes, learn lessons, and experience classes at our own pace. This is why we all can identify with patterns in our lives. There are certain misfortunate circumstances that we've endured that if we take the time to sit down and review our lives, we will be able to connect the dots. This originally started since I was a child. This originally started since I was a teenager. This originally started since I was a young adult. Whenever it started, there are patterns in your life. I, for example, can relate to that due to one of the most scarring experiences that took place in my life. After overcoming what I would deem as hell on earth, after healing and being open to understanding, it was brought to my attention, but you was here before. Do you remember when you was here before? Can you remember that you was here before? Now can you understand why this took place again? And with that direction, for thought, it all made sense. Did I enjoy the experience? No. Was it life-threatening? Yes. But I had to retake the test because the class was already offered. And although I paid attention, there were some key concepts that I was neglecting to register. And due to that, I had to retake the class. And without getting into too much detail, the pattern originated from someone lying to me. Not a small lie. A lie that could change the trajectory of my life. Even after I asked the person to be honest with me. I shared that I am a very understanding person. I am not judgmental. I am a free spirit. This is me. This is who I am. I have nothing to hide. This person chose to be dishonest. And due to his choice and my decision to accept the lie that was presented to me, I endured what I endured. You see, when people lie, when people put us in compromising situations, we need to recollect, what part did I play in this experience? Because until we are aware of what part we play, we will not be able to connect the dots. And until we connect the dots, we will not be able to see the big picture. The big picture is required for us to be equipped to pass the test. So after the lie, I was very angry. I felt betrayed. And it took me some time to experience different levels of healing. It first began with me forgiving myself for not following my intuition. If you keep experiencing questions that arise, and you ask these questions, and you get the answers that you would have preferred, but the questions continue to pester you. They continue to come back again. They continue to be brought back to your attention. Please do not ignore those questions. Please persist on asking those questions. Please investigate regarding those questions. When they say if it's too good to be true, then it's likely too good to be true. That is wisdom. But due to the fact that all of us are experiencing this journey we call life, and what we have as a map are our experiences and the experiences of others, the understanding of others, the interpretation of others, the philosophies of others, the downloads of others. There are times that they are still taking that class. So they cannot teach you how to succeed at passing that class if they have not personally passed that class. If they are presently in the bracket that we refer to as toxicity or ignorance. I had a conversation with someone that I actually need to give a call today about children. And in that conversation that we had, this person was disclosing that they had an experience with their child in explaining that I am on this journey called life, just as you are. I am doing the best that I can do with the information that I have available to me and the experiences that I've previously had and what I was guided to do. In form of how our parents raised us and so forth. And so just as I have understanding and give you grace, I'm asking you to do that for me as well. I'm asking you to understand that I am also a spiritual being having a human experience. I am not all-knowing. And I will never be. And what came to my attention when she brought this to me is we are all perfectly imperfect. And that's okay. That is the journey that we are called to be on. And God is willing to accept us with the understanding that we are a work in progress. We choose how much effort we are willing to invest in ourselves. We choose that by how we prioritize our lives. Those of us that spend more time focusing on worldly affairs will have less forward movement than those that spend most of our times focusing on activating their higher self. It is by way of law of attraction. What you give out is what you attract. If you give out the thirst for spiritual knowledge, that is what you will arrive at. If your focus is material wealth and you position yourself to receive it, following the principles that many share in books, in motivational talks, in past experiences, then you will arrive closer and closer to that respect. But we cannot forget God while being on this journey. Because as much as we invest in certain areas in our life to manifest what we believe would be best for us, God has the final say. And so He can redirect in a manner that He feels is most appropriate for our journey. Now, for some reason, it was brought to my attention that during this episode, I am supposed to share the Serenity Prayer with you. And I've shared the Serenity Prayer many times before. But maybe someone wasn't paying attention. Or maybe there's someone brand new that's listening in for the first time. But because I was guided to do that, I will recite it for you. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And wisdom to know the difference. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. I hope that prayer was able to touch whoever was in need for it. And that it will strengthen you on your journey. And I just received the confirmation that, yes, the message was sent and the message was received. Also, the message that I have for you right now, I'm told that you will be able to interpret it in your own way, in the way that you can relate to it. The message is, let your soul lead your house. I'm going to repeat it again. Let your soul lead your house. I'm being told, if you are getting more than one way of interpreting that message, it is not a coincidence. That message comes in levels. And as you open yourself up to that first level and implement that guidance in your life, it will lead you to the next level and the next level and so forth. Follow your intuition. Again, the message is, let your soul lead your house. Read into it with symbolism. Now, I have a short meditation that I was called to bring to your attention as well. I'm only reading it one time. And so I will be reading it slowly so you can grasp the understanding of the word and meditate on the word while you receive the word. So vast is the scale of divine intelligence, unfolding in perfect wisdom throughout the universe, that our mind cannot grasp it. Miraculous grace is unfathomable to anything other than the trusting heart that needs no explanation. Offer up your fears, doubts, and reasons why something cannot heal. Then your soul can receive the blessing of the Sacred Heart that holds resolution for all matters within its kind genius. That is also a tool that you can write down and keep in your spiritual toolbox for further meditation. Now, those of you that are questioning what is a spiritual toolbox, that can either be a box or an area that you dedicate to all things spiritual. Your spiritual books and whatever else you use regarding your spiritual practice. I advise all of you to have a space that you create with the intention of making it sacred, not allowing any other form of activity in that area or in that box rather than what you intended it for. Now, if I'm saying this, it's because there are those of you who have yet to do that. There are those of you that are saying, well, my house and everyone in my house serves the Lord. I am not suggesting that this is not the case. I am just relaying a message to you that you need to consecrate an area that you can connect with when you need to re-energize, when you need to reconnect, when you need to raise in vibration. You need an area dedicated to that. And yes, it is your choice. Your guardian angels, those of you that connect with them, I have to be honest with you. All right? Because there are those of you that ignore them. I'm referring to those of you that connect with them. Your guardian angels have your best interest at heart. If you request for them to continue to guide you on your path to enlightenment, they will make that happen for you. But you have to request it. It comes with invitation. So if they're not invited, they're not going to push it on you. They're not going to force it on you. That is not the energy that they are in. And this is why I always mention that we always have a choice. You even have a choice on if you're willing to be a victim or not. You can choose what perspective that experience will be regarded as. It's a choice. You can use it for empowerment and ascension, or trauma and demotion. It is a choice. It doesn't matter what circumstance you find yourself in life. There are those of you that are in the spirit of giving up. Because you feel you've hit rock bottom. And you can't even get any lower than you are right now. Well, the word I have for you is, when you hit rock bottom, the only other direction that is made available to you is rising up again. But it is your choice. If you choose to remain stagnant and maintain, I'm hearing, a home at rock bottom. Because you are not alone on your spiritual journey. You have spiritual support that can assist you to move from one location to another. But if that was never your decision, if that was never your request, then that is why you find yourself where you are. If you are still in a season of denial, that is why you find yourself where you are. If you are still in the season of pity party, that is why you find yourself where you are. What is in common? The theme is a choice. Your healing begins with you. You will attract healing as you attract balance. I've mentioned to you before that you need to incorporate writing daily. Forget the grammar, okay? Because some of you use that as pretense. Well, you know, I'm not the best writer. I have issues with grammar. And I have issue with spelling. And I have... Listen, nowadays, you really don't have any excuse. All right? Besides spell check, there is even software available that assists with grammar and so forth. And those of you that believe in self-development are aware that there are tons of information available to you, whether it is online or those of you that are not comfortable with the internet. Just picking up a book and teaching yourself. There is no need for you to pressure yourself or corner yourself by stating, these are all the obstacles, these are all the challenges, so you must remain stuck. It is a decision to remain stuck. Remember, the writing I'm referring to is to have you purge. It is a form of self-expression. It helps you to connect the dots. It helps you to understand yourself further. Remember today's title, Getting Out of the Bubble of Oblivion. That bubble is the one that suggests that you are here to judge others, you are here to throw stones, you are here to approve or disapprove, you are here to punish, you are here to imprison, you are here, you are here, you are here. But the truth is, you are here for yourself. How did you forget that part of the scenario? When did you make yourself so insignificant that your focus became another soul, disregarding your own? And I'm hearing your first ministry should be your home. And that comes in levels in understanding. Your soul resides in the vessel of your body, of your home. Right? And this is why we also refer to it, our bodies, as our temple. We neglect the understanding that we need to be conscious in our behaviors. Because we are sacred temples. But due to the fact that we prioritize in ways that are not in alignment with our highest good, many times that is disregarded. And we then find ourselves in a state of disalignment, which causes challenges, and stagnation. We need to be balanced. In order to move forward. Now, there's something I'm going to say that will serve as confirmation for some of you. There are those of you that are called to the temple path. You know that. I'm not telling you this for the first time. You know that. But you refuse to accept that. And I want to bring it to your attention. This is why you are enduring all that you are enduring in your present circumstances right now. You see, what you are experiencing are meant to be used as a stepping stool when it comes to your ministry. Now, there are those of you that are saying, well, how could my story align with enlightenment when my participation was of a low vibrational karmic direction? The good news is I have a response for you too. Even if you found yourself in the reality of a rude awakening, that I was going in the wrong direction. Actually, a U-turn is a better option. Even those of you in that scenario, your story is meant for your ministry. You will not be comfortable with what I'm about to say. You may even find yourself in a state of being defensive, but I still have to say it. Those of you that had an addiction of lying, had an addiction of doing low vibrational spell work on others, had an addiction of killing. No, I didn't make a mistake. I said what I said. Had an addiction of killing others. Your ministry begins with testimony. This is what I did. This is where I was. This is what God had to do to corner me. This is how He finally got my attention. This is when I decided to walk forward in the direction that was in alignment with my highest good. This is how. And when I did that, God offered healing. And with healing came peace, hope, balance. Some of you, I'm hearing a wealth in health. But everybody has a map. But you take part in creating this map. You decide if you want to go through more valleys or climb more mountains, or be in the open field, or experience harvesting after your efforts of your contributions to the land. It's all connected. But it requires you to slow down. It requires you to pay attention. It requires you to review. Everything you are experiencing is part of the pattern. Whether you are in the beginning of the pattern or you're just getting a grasp that this is what's going on here. I didn't learn this lesson before, and this is why I'm here right now. Or those of you that have finally passed the test, We are all on our own path. And we achieved it at our own pace. And I'm being told to mention those of you with spirits of grandeur that want to intervene in matters that you were not called to regarding people's destinies and efforts in controlling their lives and limiting their progress or their acceleration capacities and so forth. I'm being told to tell you that is why you're where you are. I'm also being told to tell you, if that pill is too hard to swallow, then make use of water and cleanse yourselves. As you cleanse yourself, it will facilitate your abilities to swallow your truth. The issue was never knowledge. The issue was being at a state of maturity that would lead you into utilizing knowledge with wisdom. Due to immaturity regarding quote unquote knowledge, there has been a lot of mockery in the area of spiritual workings. And that will no longer be tolerated. As soon as I said that will no longer be tolerated, the channeled song came to my spirit. Grace, grace, forgive me, Lord. Grace, grace, forgive us all. Grace, grace, for all our faults. We're asking you, grace, my Lord. I'm hearing there is a season of reckoning upon us. Some of you are already in the thick of it. Asking for help. The help that is being offered is what I shared for your toolbox. Using this chant, even though it is in another language, I gave you the translation in English. And you have an idea of the melody it comes in. Some of you are creative enough to create your own. Regardless of your direction with the information that was offered to you, do not overlook the fact that God is offering you grace. Those of you that are cursing God, you've abandoned me. You left me here all alone. You're not fair to me. God is saying, I'm offering grace. Are you making use of the grace that I'm offering you? Are you respecting the grace that I'm offering you? Are you aligning yourself to the grace that I am offering you? The grace of God is our only hope. When everyone else has rejected you, the grace of God is what offers you love. And I heard a confirmation not too long ago. It's what offers you a new beginning, a new direction. The grace of God offers health and healing. It reminds us to nurture ourselves and why we should prioritize nurturing ourselves. It offers words of wisdom, choosing peace. As we heal our spiritual selves, we will attract healing in our physical selves. As abundance flows to us spiritually, we will begin to witness it flowing to us materially. In the physical world. Your financial standings will no longer be an issue. Whether in your career or your relationships. Deception will be a thing of the past, forgotten. I'm hearing a stepping stool. All your experiences gave you insight and understanding, which afforded you wisdom. As you take heed to the advice that is being given to you regarding expressing yourselves by writing, you will connect to your feelings, gain more insight, and you will notice you will take different approaches when it comes to your reactions. Because expressing yourselves offers you opportunities to analyze. I'm hearing, but you have to be open to it. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Your spiritual value should be based on progress. Because we are all on a journey and while on this journey we call life, we are attending school. Here to learn lessons at our own pace. As we learn these lessons, as we pass our tests, our life will demonstrate it. We will attract improvement. So it's more than what words can say. I'm hearing the sun will shine so the change will be seen. Trust like a child. That should be the prayer. Especially those of you that like to think. What if? How about? Suppose. Ask for you to attract calmness in your spirit. Right? And to trust God like a child. Just as when your children come to you and they ask something of you, and you confirm that you approve their request, what happens? Especially regarding the younger ones. They believe you. All you have to say is here. All you have to say is later. All you have to say is when you complete this task. They just believe you. And so we need to believe again. If you are lacking in that area, ask help for it. Believing again. Ask for assistance in that area. I'm hearing stop regarding the efforts that you make regarding your spiritual health as chores. They should not be regarded as chores. They should be enjoyable. They should be pleasant. If you are confirmation, if you are regarding these efforts as chores, they're not in alignment. It needs to be in alignment with your soul. If it's still a chore, if you are still resisting, you haven't hit the target. Those of you that are angry and are saying, but God, you told me to do this. I did it. I did it. I did it. How many times you want me to do it? I said I did it. Didn't you hear me say I did it? And I'm hearing forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. There are those of you that are trying to forgive. It doesn't matter if you say, I did it, until you're blue in the face. If it is still being brought to your attention, no. There's still residue. And something that a friend of mine was discussing with me earlier is what I have brought to your attention before, which is forgiveness is never a destination. All right? Forgiveness is the willingness to remain on that journey of forgiveness. Why? Because life will offer us further experiences that trigger us. And it's not offering you these experiences to be a pest, to be annoying. No, it's offering you those experiences because there's still residue. No, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to accept it, but it is what it is. There's still residue. And there will forever be residue. All it takes is a trigger. For example, there are times that in my leisure, I decide to watch a movie because the title resonated with me. It's very rare where I just watch a movie just because. It's very rare. It has to resonate with me in some respect. Even if I didn't experience it, it has to be something of interest. So, as I watch the movie, many times there are scenes that cause me to turn the movie off and say, okay, I'm done watching it. Or else fast forward it. And then there are times I'm asked to sit through it. And I'm able and willing in all of those capacities. Because if I'm being asked to sit through it, it's because it is an opportunity for me to heal in some way. If I'm being told that I can fast forward it, it's because it's reminding me of how far I've come. If I decide to stop watching it altogether, it's a form of guidance. Something is being brought to my attention. My alertness is being requested. You see, those of you that are connected do not require it to be a certain day of the week to be able to contact God or connect to God or worship God. It's something that you experience even in your leisure time. Some of you have heard that the universe is always talking, but are you listening? God is always talking, but are you listening? Sometimes it's through a movie. Sometimes it's through a song. Sometimes it's a painting you see. Comes with no words, just feelings, just emotions, just flashback. Sometimes it's a piece of pottery that means something to you. Those of you that do have a sacred space will recognize that what it means to you only you can grasp the energy that is in that sacred space. It might just be a pen you put down on your desk. It might be a quote you put down. It might be a painting you hang up. It might be a blanket, a pillow, a robe that you wear, a wrap that you wear, a piece of jewelry, whatever it is, it means something to you. That no one else will understand. This is why when I read different articles suggesting, well, if you have a sacred space, then it should be this way, and this should be in this position, it should be in the north, and that should be in the south, and this should be in the west, and this, okay, we overcomplicate things. We are being asked to simplify. The overcomplication is what causes us to be overwhelmed. Your sacred space should speak to you. Does it mean that you throw away other people's experiences or their belief or their understanding, their interpretation? No. You consider it. And if it makes sense for you, then it makes confirmation. If it makes sense for you, then it makes sense for you. But if it doesn't, then it's not meant for you. I am unique in every sense of the word. And that is my superpower. Because I choose to be my authentic self. When you begin to embrace you and only you, even your connection to God is what God tells you. You will begin to recognize an increase in power. The abilities of others being able to manipulate you will be a thing of the past. See, because if God told you this, he could tell me that too. All right? If God told you to tell me that I need to take the next right turn, he could tell me that too. If God told you that you need to tell me to sit down, he could tell me that too. We're being reminded of today's title, Getting Out of the Bubble of Oblivion. Because sometimes a message is sent to you. Because you need it. especially those that think you know everything. Until you accept that you will have seasons of being a teacher and have seasons of being a student for the entire journey. I'm not just saying today or yesterday. I'm saying for the entire journey. There are times you will be called to be the teacher. There are times I will be called to be the student. There are times I will be called to be the teacher. There are times you will be called to be the student. Until you are able to accept this connection, then you need to pay attention. Because you are getting in your own way. If you are awakening to the fact that, okay, I made some faux pas, some mistakes, change the perspective. Rather than regarding them as mistakes, understand that every failure you made in life will align you with an opportunity to reload. For example, experiences of being lied to, and then forgiving people and allowing them to remain in my life for them to lie to me again. Was a class I had to take a couple times until I learned if someone is not good for me, I need to let them go. Yes, it's pretty cute. What we've been taught, forgive and forget. But in this journey that we call life, where we are attending school, where we have lessons to learn, I learned at my pace that I need to detach from people, places, and things and energies that are no longer aligned with my highest good. Yes, forgiveness comes with the territory. But so does self-preservation. Confirmation. Confirmation. You can be kind to others at a distance. Being kind is forgiving them, is accepting that they were attempting to teach you a lesson in their own way. And I say attempting is because there are many times, I have to say it like it is, we give ourselves more importance than we deserve in some areas, and less importance than we deserve in other areas. What does that mean? There are those that you will encounter in life that, quite frankly, are conniving. That come with bad intentions. With the belief, I can hurt this person. Not knowing what you've already been through. Thinking they know you due to the experiences they put you through, but not knowing what you've already been through. Thinking they know you because of what you've disclosed to them, but not knowing what you've already been through. There's no way you can sit someone down and tell them every experience that you've experienced. It's only someone who lacks intelligence. Can we handle the truth? I said it's only someone who lacks intelligence that can believe that they know every single thing about any single body, even if that body came from you. Even if it's that baby you gave birth to. We all know some information about our children. But we will never know everything about our children. It's what it is. You could be identical twins. Same DNA. And you will still not know every single thing about that. It is impossible. It's just impossible. So the mission's out there to go study someone. Go spy on this person. Because I want to get an upper hand. It's always very risky. Especially those of us that self-disclose as you own confirmation. As you own the right to the disclosure. That's something I've learned since I was 18. Thanks to a friend that's no longer with us, but was wise beyond her years, and said, pay attention to how people interact with you as you disclose about yourself. If you notice, they listen, but they don't disclose, halt. Pay attention. Take your time. Fortunately, she taught me that pretty early in life. And that's how I maneuver. Now, those that have had a genuine connection with me will get the impression that she's approachable because they know me. And because they were opened enough that I became open enough. And a connection was made. But there are certain avenues that we will never meet at. And certain avenues that may be at a different season, in a different time, in a different place, you would find me there. That I bet you'd never find me there today. And so, all this means you only know an individual from the season that you've encountered the individual. That's all you know about that person. And this is why we are not equipped to close any chapters that don't belong to ourselves. I'm told to repeat that. We are not equipped to close any chapters that do not belong to ourselves. I'm told someone in the back needs to hear that again. We are being told that we are not equipped to close any chapters that do not belong to ourselves. See, our focus needs to be ourselves. We need to know when it's time to close the chapter. We need to know, okay, I've learned the lesson now. All right, what's next? What's next on the agenda? We are being called to declutter. Because we have no use for negative energies. They only hold us back. Those negative energies that you have absorbed from experiences that were not your best. You have the ability to confirmation, to request that they are transmuted. And use what was made to destroy you to build you. To stand in your power. As you declutter, you attract positive change, new beginnings, self-discovery, confirmation, growth and spiritual understanding. Those of you that are looking for direction, those of you that are saying, what's my soul purpose? What's my soul's purpose? Can I tell you I've been there before? Earlier in my journey, I've been there before. And what was told to me is what I will share with you right now. Follow your dreams, goals, and intuition. Because as you align yourself with those parts of you, you will improve your self-esteem. You need to go through that door of self-esteem in order to connect with the energies that will assist you with activating your higher self. Now, I'm not sure how you're going to accept this, understand this, or interpret this, but you are a child of God. You are a child of the universe. You belong to the spiritual world. And the truth is, your soul resided in the spiritual realm before you were made human and brought into this world. So it doesn't matter how much you want to push it away, how much you want to redirect yourself, how much you want to tell yourself you know better today. You still belong to the spiritual world. Because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. But the good news is your spiritual growth has angelic support. So it would behoove you to walk in confidence. Walk in the confidence of a winner, because that attracts that momentum in your life. You're not alone on this spiritual journey. Remember, we're all experiencing parallel lives at some magnitude. We're all connected. It's the spirit of oneness. One love. As you build with your angels and connect with them and gain more enlightenment, you will be guided and you will begin to receive more illuminating support. And when you get discouraged, understand that's normal. That's normal. There are cycles, there are seasons in life. There's day and night. There's summer, there's spring, there's winter, there's fall. There are cycles. When your inner energies are diminished, there is spiritual help available to uplift you in spirit until your innate light shines strong. As you continue to prioritize your spiritual selves and build with your spiritual support teams, you will be afforded self-centering fortitude. And to finish today's episode, I'm going to share a message that I was asked to relate to you. Some of you have spiritual unfinished business. Whether you was called to do something and you're procrastinating, or you were called to iron something out. You were called to make something right. You were called in whatever direction you were called. Because there's no such thing as coincidences. You find yourselves in the circumstances that you are in due to unfinished business. After complying with what you're called to do, you will connect with the opportunity of self-reflection that will offer you inner growth. And the wealth that comes along with that confirmation is a lighter load in your next phase of life. Certain burdens you once had will no longer be a burden. Right? Some of you have had burdens of addiction. All right? Sometimes the addiction is not just what you ingest or an act. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes it's a place. Sometimes it's a thing. Sometimes it's an energy. You will be released from that. You will have the self-esteem that is aligned with self-expression. Setting clear boundaries will be a thing of the norm. Direct communication. Judgment, utilizing wisdom, will be an activity that comes with the flow of progression. Make a commitment to yourself. All right? Know that your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. Lean on God and the angels for support. Some of you are experiencing heightened intuition. Pay attention to that. Be easy on yourself. It's progress, not perfection. The aim was never perfection. That's a lie of an enemy. Those of you still seeking justice, you attract the tower of justice by clearing your space. I'll repeat it again. Detach from people, places, and things and energies in disalignment with your highest good. All right? As you declutter, declutter with compassion. It's not about throwing stones. It's not about defamations of character. It's not about lying on another. It's about aligning to what God is calling you to do. And as you learn, teach. All right? Teaching doesn't always require a classroom. Sometimes it requires just an ear, just a neighbor, just a friend, just a daughter. Each one, teach one. Walk away from drama. And continue praying. Asking God to help you to remember that contract. That contract that's in association with your spiritual being. What lessons were you called to learn? It was a choice. Again, as you tend to your spiritual self, you will see it materialize in your physical existence. Know that you are protected. Those of you that are called to a temple path, be confident in your protection. Be confident in it. Know that if you were called to be on the field, God's got you. All right? You may experience a lot. But your experience will testify for you that God's got you. I'm hearing the serenity prayer again. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That doesn't mean you will not encounter hostilities. But what's great about a calling on your life is adjacent possibilities. God will customize What needs to be customized? For that favorable outcome that you are attracting. Again, your life will be that testimony. What it is to have a door to spirit, to God. Share your entire story. Those of you that are called to share your stories, don't just share the good parts. Oh, life is perfect. My life's always been perfect and it's always going to be perfect. No, that's not what you're called to do. If you're called to share your story, I guarantee you that's not what you're called to do. You're called to share the progression. You're called to be open to guidance. You're called to learn from your experiences. You're called to cheer others on their efforts. Remember, progression is attainable. Because with spiritual support comes spiritual strength. There are blessings that are already manifesting in your life. And what I'm hearing is, begin to give praises for the blessings that are already in your life. Yes, there's more to come. But begin to give thanks for what already has manifested in your life. People, this episode took me on a journey. For lack of a better way of expressing myself. I'm going to leave you with these 3 words. Live by grace.